Okay, this is just my general overview of the conference. And then I'll get into the good, the bad, and the ugly after the cut. Sony's press conference was boring. It dragged on too long. It had yet more information that most people don't give a fuck about. And my overall view of the Sony press conference is this: if you like Sony, then it will then you're gonna still like Sony after the press conference. If you don't give a fuck about Sony, it's not gonna sway you to their side. If you already have a PS4, you're good. If you don't have a PS4, meh. So let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly after the cut. So here's the good. Sony had 2 exclusives. Last Guardian is apparently not dead, and even though it's been in development for 10 years, and traditionally games that are in development for over 5 suck, especially console games. PC games have a little bit more latitude, but console games suck if they're over development for over 5 years. And Uncharted 4, a gameplay trailer. The Uncharted gameplay trailer. I mean, those were good for Sony. Me personally, if you were looking forward to the hype for Last Guardian for me died down. Like, I don't give a fuck about the game, and I never liked bootleg Indiana Jones in the first place, so don't care about Uncharted. So those were the good things about Sony's conference. Let's get to the bad, shall we? Okay, time for the bad. I took notes, by the way, of the entire conference. These are both my positive and negative things, but allow me to elaborate. Most of what we see on Sony's platform is a whole bunch of fucking multiplats. And I know what you're going to say, but they have Project Morpheus. Doesn't that count? No, Project Morpheus doesn't count because you can really only use it for first-person games. Really. I mean, that's pretty much what it's all about, is first-person games. And the thing is that first-person games are the easiest games to make. People think platformers are easy to make, but there's a certain level of skill that has to be used. In the first person is easy. Just doing the first person, how to walk around. So, a lot of multiplats. And a lot of fucking multiplats. What they did show, they showed a lot of shit that we already knew was coming, and a lot of multiplats. Just a lot of fucking multiplats. Just no surprises, just fucking multiplats. Now, here's my issue with Sony showing so many multiplats. And I'm gonna get a little raw with this description, but it's very apropos for why I don't think people should brag about having exclusivity with a multiplat. A multiplat is essentially like third parties in this industry are like a chick that you went to high school with who went with 5 dudes. Okay? PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PC. 5 guys. Bragging about exclusivity benefits is like bragging about how, well, she does special shit with me. Actually, she used to do special shit with the Xbox 360. So, I mean, like, you're bragging about something she did with another guy a few years ago, and now she's doing it with you, but she's still going with 4 other dudes plus you. Is that something to be treasured? I mean, I guess if you haven't had any before, it's nice to get some, but goddamn, that's just ridiculous. Bragging about it makes you look like a fucking idiot, but that's just my opinion. So bragging about multiplats is No Man's Sky, when I first saw it, looked cool last year. Now it just looks kind of boring. It still looks really boring. I'm like, you guys like, well, you can do anything. I'm like, you're still like, we'll go to the planet, it'll shoot some shit, and it just looks really fucking boring. It looks really, really fucking boring. Dreams, Mario Paint, which is basically Mario Paint on the PS4. You know, Firewatch multiplat, Destiny DLC multiplat, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'll get more into this when I review Square Enix's conference later on today, but it's a fucking multiplat. Shenmue 3 also will be a multiplat. Arkham Knight. First of all, it's a multiplat, and I'd rather watch Arkham Knight the movie than make a movie with that computer-generated imaging that they did for that trailer than play Arkham Knight the game. And did I mention that it's also a multiplat? Project Morpheus. I know some people are going to be excited with this new technology, but frankly speaking, I don't give a shit about it. It's just going to be more shit to strap to your head. Then they got into Spotify review. I wrote here in my notes, no one gives a fuck about Spotify review. Moving on. Call of Duty Black Ops 3, who brags about multiplats and exclusive content coming to your console first, when it obviously is going to hit the other consoles eventually. It's fucking useless. Final Fantasy World looked kind of interesting, but then, like, I was like, it's also going to be a multiplat, and it looks like a budget title. Star Wars Battlefront Light, meh. Just a lot of multiplats. Star Wars, the Disney Infinity thing, multiplat, that's on 6 platforms, including the Wii U. Uncharted, fuck, it's bootleg Indiana Jones. Basically, the multiplats brought this down. And here's the thing, like, I went into Sony's conference, I'm like, if they show me the one trailer, the one game I really give a fuck about that Sony, exclusive that Sony could show me, and I would give a fuck about, and that was Ratchet & Clank. They didn't do that, fuck this, fuck Sony. We'll get to the ugly after the cut. Okay then, it's time to get to the ugly. Sony's conference just, I mean, like, I know with the amount of units that they've shipped, not sold, shipped, Sony didn't have to take any risks or do anything really exciting, but fuck did they play it safe, and fuck did they get on their knees and blow third parties, and multiplats. Frankly speaking, I don't give a shit about third parties or multiplats. Shenmue 3 looked cool, but then I realized that it was a multiplat, so didn't give a fuck. Didn't give a fuck. I really didn't give a fuck at that point. Basically, the ugly of this conference was that there was way too much fucking multiplats. Way too many multiplats. And I know Sony was like, well, it's difficult to make first-party exclusives. No shit, it's difficult, but you have a library of games. Did Sony's conference overtake Microsoft's? In my opinion, no, it did not. Was Sony's conference this year better than their conference last year? Yes, it was. I think they went up a whole letter grade, as a matter of fact. Last year they got an F. This year they got a D. That's still nothing to write home about, though. That's still a pretty shitty grade. So yeah, they got a D, and I'm sticking with that. Depending on what Nintendo does, they could get knocked down a grade. So yeah, that was the ugly. Let's see what else. Oh yes, today I will be doing a 2-part podcast about Nintendo's conference. One at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and another at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, look forward to that. I will also be giving my views of. I will also. I'm not gonna do a thing for tomorrow, Wednesday at 7. I will be doing a Woodshed podcast at 7, talking about the third parties. So I have not done a vidcast about those, but I've watched their press conferences and wrote down things. So yeah, there we go. That should be it. I will not Thursday and Friday I will not be in. I will be in DC in my staycation. Thursday I'll be hanging out with friends, and Friday I'm gonna be playing an epic D&D game. Well, it's not really D&D. Our own heavily modified D&D game. Our own RPG. I'll be playing that all day long, eating nothing but junk food, pizza, tacos, drinking copious amounts of Coca-Cola, rum and Coke, maybe some pina coladas. It's gonna be nice. So Thursday and Friday I will not be in. As a matter of fact, I won't be home until Saturday afternoon. So, well, no. I'll leave because I'm taking the metro on Thursday morning. And I'll be back because I got to be back for the podcast at 1:30. I'll just leave slightly early. I won't be back until Saturday. I literally will jet set in and we'll play. We'll do the epic E3 after party. I know I'm gonna need some time to wash the bad taste of that Sony press conference out of my mouth. If I had had some alcohol at handy, it could have helped, but oh god, fuck me. Yeah, that's it. I'm done.